Hey up, me ducks. Happy Sunday. Hope everybody's doing okay. Wasn't planning on making a video today. But yeah, I can't believe it's still only the morning. Oh, actually it's 12:02. It's now officially the afternoon. But yeah, up at 5, showered, changed, drove over to my friends, walked the dogs, came back, had about an hour at home. Went to the barber's, had a bit of a pamper session, had a coffee in town, and I just thought I'd have a bit of a wander around town, which is, which can be quite dangerous really. And I was just having a quick wander around, just seeing if there's anything down in the square. We've just had our annual light night, I think last weekend, which is every February. And very often there's different kind of world markets and things happening in the square. So I just thought I'd have a wander around. But your hermit went and fell into Waterstones purely by accident. I took a tumble and in I went. And I ended up making a purchase, a couple of things. And I thought, well, I'll share them with you today. Not a lot of things, there's four items, some beautiful books, a deck, and something else. But yeah, I don't know if anybody else out there does that sort of thing where you don't particularly go out with a purpose. Because if I go out with a purpose and I know that I'm going to look for something or to buy something, I'm usually very good, and that's the only thing I will buy. I'll get it and I'll come home. I'm not a huge shopping person, believe it or not. But give me a metaphysical store and yeah, then that's a different matter. Or a bookshop, or a coffee shop. Yeah, I didn't have a purpose and I just kind of had a wander around, and I thought I'll just take a look in Waterstones, as you do. Anyway, what I did go in to look for and found it, the last 2 or 3 times I've been in, I've not been able to get one, is, do you remember last year I bought this tote bag with the beautiful Italian tarot on it. Can't remember if it's the Vachetta or the Soprafino now. Somebody will tell me, no doubt. This beautiful tote bag. I mean, it wasn't the most expensive thing, but it wasn't a cheap tote bag. And in here I have all manner of divinatory things that aren't decks that I can carry around. Still got the price tag on, so I'll tell you the price. It was £20. And so it's got things like my Ogham staves. It's got a couple of rune decks that I don't, the ones that I don't have out on my desk. It's got some, oh gosh, what else in there? The dominoes that I've done divination with. It's got some dice sets, and it's also got some geomancy staves as well. So yeah, kind of divinatory things that aren't cartomancy related. So then I heard that there was a kind of like a pencil case version. It's quite big actually. This is $14.99 and it goes with it beautifully. And it's such a nice size that I thought, actually, with this, I could probably get a decent sized deck plus a nice crystal, because I like to, just a little bit of a tip as well, whilst we're just having a bit of, you know, a ramble today. Always try and choose a smooth, polished, tumbled crystal. This is a beautiful one, actually. It's an aqua aura quartz, because if you put a rough or sharp edged crystal in there, it will scratch your cards, unless you're putting a wraparound. But then why would you when you've got this? But anyway, this is a really nice size, nicely lined on the inside, opens up at the bottom like that. So there's enough room in there to put a deck in, perhaps one in a bag as well, and a crystal, as I say, or a little book, you know, a companion book or something like that. Yeah, and they're really, really good quality. So even though it's a little bit expensive perhaps for like a pencil case, because that's what they're advertised as being. You are getting a really good quality product. The tote bag for £20 I thought was a little bit steep, but actually it's really durable. So I went in to get that, and I was thrilled to see some. They're right next to the till. So if you are in the UK and you're wanting to get a tarot tote bag or a pencil case, then they're next to the tills as you queue. Well, they certainly are in Nottingham anyway. These are on, as you walk through the snaking aisles to the till, they're hanging up there, and the tote bags are behind the tills, or right next to the till on the ground floor. Interestingly as well, I always thought that Waterstones was, you know, and Barnes and Nobles were the same company, because whenever I've seen video footage or photographs of tarot tubers in Barnes and Noble, it looks exactly the same, but they're actually owned by Blackwell's. At least that's what I'm assuming, because there was a sign on the door when I went in saying, "We are hiring." I mean, what an amazing job to work in a bookstore. It says we're hiring, and you had to apply to Blackwell's, and I thought, wow, there's something I didn't know. So yeah, so went in to get that, got it. So I was really, really pleased. And then I thought, well, I'll have a look at the book section. I like to look at the pagan book section. And there's a couple of books that I've got on my wish list, actually. I can't remember. I think one's called The Magical Year, and the other one is Paganism, something. In fact, let's tell you what they're called. So I went in to have a look for that, because I don't like buying on Amazon. And now I will check out Oneness Emporium as well to see if they've got those books. But what the books are? Books: The Magical Year and Paganism, An Introduction to Earth-Centered Religions. Both looked really, really good. So I thought I'll go in and see if they've got them. They didn't. But what they did have, dum, 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 were these. Now, story behind them. So when I went into the bookshop, gosh, probably in the summer last year, there was one of these beautifully binded books. I believe it was on the I Ching. And I thought, oh, that's so beautiful. I was tempted to buy it. And interestingly, my last video was on the I Ching as well. I was tempted to buy it, but I didn't. And I remember saying to myself, if they ever bring out a tarot version, I would love it. So I went over to the book section looking for the pagan books. They weren't there. And then this caught my eye, which is Runes Illustrated, How to Read Them. It's by Rachel Newcomb. And you can just see this is beautiful. Absolutely gorgeous book. It's where those pages are folded over. So this is one page, but you could put your hand down. And I think they're great for putting little notes and things in, rather than damaging the pages as well. And I've wanted a good rune book for the longest time. I'd got a how-to guide, very thin rune book that has served me well for the last 20 years. Let me just move this one out of the way until we get to that. And I took a look at this, and it's absolutely beautiful. And I mean, it's not a huge book in terms, because these pages are really thick. So it's only 157, 160. I've turned 2 there. Yeah, 160 pages. But really beautiful. And I love that we get a nice clear image of the rune itself. It tells you how to pronounce it, the translation, key themes, beautiful artwork, absolutely gorgeous. So I thought, do you know what? I am going to get this, because this is done. And again, look, you could write some notes on paper and put them in between. The by Amber Books, and the second book I'm going to show you is also by Amber Books. I was hoping this is fitting in, and you can see it a bit. Let's just have a look at the camera. Yeah, I'm kind of missing the bottom a little bit. So let's push this back. Don't want to get wax on this. I've already got wax on a jumper yesterday. So these are 2023, so they haven't been out for long. This has got the contents, which has your introduction, how to use runes, which includes what are runes, how to read runes, rune casting and layouts, the runic alphabet, the Elder Futhark, but then it gives you phrase, hagels, tears. So you've got all the different types there. Ancient questions. Sorry, why have I just read that as questions? Ancient rune stones. Yeah. So, and then at the back there's an appendix. So Alpha Futhark runes, alternative names, and then picture credits. But this, I'm gonna sit this afternoon. My Sunday afternoon is to have a good look at this book. So as you can see, just beautiful quality. Really love it. The different types of runes. I know you're always kind of encouraged to create your own runes wherever possible. I've got runes that are antler. I've got runes that are crystals. My first ever rune set was hematite crystals. They've got a very masculine energy. Lots of people say that runes themselves have a masculine energy anyway. And then I've got wooden runes, clear quartz runes, all sorts of runes. But my favourite runes, which in fact I'll show you them. Look at this. A single rune cast, a 3 rune layout. So it tells you spreads with runes as well, look. The 9 rune cast. So lots of information. Then we go into the runic alphabet, so, and the Elder Futhark and the different ones. So there we go. So really, really beautiful. Love it. And this is going to be on the desk. I'm going to keep this out on the desk. Whoops, knocked over my... I'm not cutting it. I'm not editing today. This is just a little bit of a ramble and let's just chat and look at stuff kind of video. But yeah, my favourite runes I keep in this box. You'll see it behind me in the videos. This box I bought from my Midgard Craft. It's no longer there now, in Glastonbury. This box here that's, you might just be able to see it, is also by the same artist. I've got some sage in there as well because, in fact, it needs changing. It's lost its scent. Of these runes. Now these runes are handmade and they're from the trees, or sorry, the branches that have fallen from the trees around the foot of the Tote in Glastonbury. And so I just think they've got a wonderful, wonderful energy to them. So these are my favourite runes. Because why wouldn't they be? Pop that back there. So I wanted to get that book because I just thought it was beautiful. And then I thought, yeah, well, this is great, but I still wish there was a tarot one. Literally went to the next section and there it was. So this, it kind of reminds me a little bit of the, oh my gosh, it's gone out of my head. What's it called? The Taschen set. In as much as it's got kind of that, this nice finish to it, and it's got a card that's stuck on the outside. You can just see this beautiful binding that happens with all these books. So this is tarot cards for divination, wisdom and self-discovery. And this one is Nikki J. And I've not seen anybody show this, or, you know, you might say, wow, yeah, it's been out for ages. There isn't actually normally you get on the inside the publisher's information and year of release. It might be on the back, it's here. 2022, reprinted in 2023. So it has been out for a while. So again, exactly the same in terms of that beautiful folded paper. So we get an introduction. Tarot cards have been used by mystics, seers, witches, fortune tellers, and even the royal court for centuries. It goes through the tarot deck, so the history of the tarot, and then into the Rider-Waite. Quick tips to get you started. They give you a 5-card spread, but then you're straight into the cards. And as you can see, it's using Pamela Coleman-Smith's artwork. So it's a straight up Rider-Waite Smith deck. And then we get the writing about it. So we get the Fool, the interpretations of upright and reverse, but beautiful, nice, clear images as well. So you can really see the details in this. I love this, how the symbol changes on each page as well. So this is the tarot one, and again, beautiful, beautiful quality. This paper, even if it wasn't you know, folded, the paper itself is just gorgeous. Really, really nice, beautiful. So I thought these would make nice, quick desktop books to have. So there you have it. The tarot and the rune book, both by, who were they called again? Amber Books. And then I didn't buy a tarot deck, but I did buy an oracle deck, which is the Rooted Woman, which now I haven't read any books by Sharon Blackie, but I bought this because of Hannah Willow. So one of her other independently produced decks is the Folk Tales Oracle. I bought this not last year when I went to Glastonbury, the year before. I brought it from the Goddess and Green Man, and it's absolutely, her artwork I just think is so gorgeous, really, really beautiful. So when I saw that Hay House had this deck out, the Rooted Woman Oracle, Sharon Blackie is the author, and the artwork was by Hannah Willow, I thought, well, that's one to keep an eye on. And in my mind, I thought, if I go to Glastonbury, well, I am going to Glastonbury later in the year, but when I go to Glastonbury, and if I see this deck, then I'll pick it up. Yeah, so that was my thought process. But I saw it today in Waterstones. I wasn't going to get it, and I picked these books up, and you know, I'd got the pencil case, and I was making my way to the till, and I thought, you know, if I'm buying these two books, I may as well get this as well. So I did, and yeah, I saw Patsy do a walkthrough of this. With musings by Patsy, or musings with Patsy, sorry, and I commented saying stunning artwork, which I knew it would be. It's Hannah Willow. Yes, it's a female-centric deck. I have no qualms about that. You know, as somebody who identifies as male, I believe in the duality of all things. You know, I have a feminine side, I have a masculine side. If there's any deity, and when I say deity, I have a very different concept of deity, but if there's, sorry, I just bashed the table there. You know, if there's any personification, if you like, my sacred space is around Gaia. And so, you know, I have no qualms at all seeing this planet, you know, as Mother Earth as Gaia, and nature and everything else having lots of femininity to it. Similarly, I have no issues either with masculine decks. Like the Divine Masculine is a deck that I particularly love. So, you know, balancing all things. So the Rooted Woman Oracle is based on the old myths and folk tales of Europe, in which women are the guardians of the natural world, the bearers of wisdom, and the root of spiritual and moral authority for the community. It offers a heroine's journey to a sense of rootedness in and belonging to this beautiful, animate earth. And it tells you a little bit about Sharon and a little bit about Hannah, and there's websites for both of them, sharonblackie.net and hallowillow.com. So it's a magnetic box, beautiful. I mean, fair play to Hay House. Over the last few years, they've really, in my opinion, really are producing some beautiful, beautiful decks. May the rooted women who were our ancestors and the spirits and stories of the lands they lived in guide us in our heroine's journey. So, and that's gorgeous. Look, we've got that lovely ribbon, but this landscape that just goes all the way through the box. So that's really nice. We do get a little book, no images in it, but that's fine. We've got numbers, so starting with well at 1. Oh, they're in, it looks like they're in suits of some sort, which is interesting. So let's have a look. And this isn't going to be a full walkthrough. This is just to kind of look what I got type of video. The Oracle deck as an ally and guide. How this deck is structured on page 7. It looks like we've got places and allies and a journey, and then we've got a couple of focus cards. Oops, flew past page 7 and back to where I started, page 3. The Rooted Woman Oracle consists of 53 cards. That's a generous amount. There are 17 cards in each of 3 suits. So places, allies, and journey. In addition, there are 2 focus cards. Peregrina, reflecting features of the Fool card in traditional tarot. In other words, the places from which we begin. And Rooted, reflecting features of the World card, the place in which we find ourselves at the completion of our journey. That's interesting how we've top and tailed kind of and this is the heroine's journey rather than the fool's journey. And then we've got the 3 suits. So the deck's 3 suits are represented 3 distinct forms of guidance, insight and inspiration as we walk the path of the heroine's journey, which I described in a previous section. So then we have places, allies. So the allies card features women from European myths and folklore who represent archetypal roles and qualities which will be helpful along the way. Some of them might be thought of as goddesses, others are otherworldly characters from myth or folklore. And then we have journey. The journey cards include a different kinds or shapes or ways of journeying. For example, the quest, the pilgrimage, the spiral labyrinth. I get it. Okay. Whereas the places, the roots of our ancient traditions are anchored in the land, and the land is our greatest teacher. For our ancestors, the sacred, which emanated from the other world, wasn't somewhere else or up there. It was embedded in this beautiful, animate land where we chose to come and to take physical form. Okay, so that kind of explains the structure of this deck. In fact, why don't you just rip it? It's paper. Nice matte card, really nice matte card stock. I'm going to just bring the camera down a little bit. Okay, so like I say, it's not a full walkthrough. Let's have a look at, here's our full card then, if you like, which is Peregrina. Beautiful, look at this artwork. So as you can see, lovely, nice matte cardstock. Cardstock is really quite nice and thick. These are the backs, which is beautiful. Really beautiful. So this is kind of like the beginning, the journey, starting on that journey. You can see here we've got a crow and we've got a fox. She's wearing this cape, a staff with a light at the top, that's a beautiful star. The rising sun, really beautiful. And then we have Rooted, which is kind of like the world card, the completion of that journey. And that's the image from the front of the box as well. But it's so recognizable as Hannah's Hannah's work. There's so many symbols as well. So, and then we've got our is it places first, did we say? Let's have a quick look. I'm sure it was places. Yeah, places, allies, and journey. So just make sure that places, allies, and journey. So we're starting with well, source of life. Yeah, and it should tell you just before that page that we're on places. So suit 1 is places, and we're starting with well. Okay. I mean, oh, beautiful. Island. Boundedness and isolation. Oh, look at this. Cave. Incubation. We have the bog, which is stagnation. I'm not doing a walkthrough, he says. Forest, finding the path. Look at this. This is just gorgeous. And it's our starting card, isn't it? With the fox there. Continuing the journey. Beautiful. We have meadow. Mountain, vision and inspiration. Look at this. Wow, little homestead here at the bottom. Sea, plumbing the depths. Wow. I drive through some moors. Whenever I have to go to Manchester, I go through the moors. It's just like this. I want to park up and just run through it. River, flow. Look at the waters around these stepping stones. Lake. And you know, it's not as female centric as I thought it would be. As I said, I did see a flip through from Patsy, so it's not the first time I'm seeing the images, but it's obviously it's always different when you've got the cards held in your own hand. Look at that stone circle, the sacred landscape. Cairn, portal to the mystery. The Fisher King's Court. The Isle of Women. It's like we have a maiden, mother and crone there. The Well Maiden, voice of the other world. So we're now into, is it people? You think my memory would last long enough, wouldn't you, to to remember allies. And this is where they said it could either be, you know, viewed as goddesses, mythical people, otherworldly beings. The old crane woman. Wow. Guardian of the threshold. Oh, this is just a beautiful deck. Look at this. Sovereignty, the power of the land. So my Alexa kicked in then. Just reminding me that I needed to do something. Yeah, so beautiful. Oh, we have a Selkie, the soul skin. I love this sky, but I love how the moon is reflected here, and we have the seal just popping up through the water. Gorgeous. Miss Divine Madness. We have Keridwen, the Initiator. Ellen, Pathmaker and Guide. Rhiannon, the Story Carrier. The Buried Moon, the Hidden Feminine. Sheila Nagig. I have a Sheila Nagig on my sacred space. Fertility and creativity. We have Kalak. Oh, look at that face. Look at the... Oh, how incredible. Kalak, protector of the wild. Oh, this is just a stunning deck. Masha, strength and endurance. Old woman of dreams, the maker of visions. The Grail Bearer. Wow, look at this. Beyonce? The Keening woman. And then we have the Morrigan, death and rebirth. And then our final suit, which is the Journey suit. Different ways to journey, as you can see. A pilgrimage card is beautiful. The Labyrinth. Gosh. Oh, I love this image. The Threshold. I love the light coming in and the shadow. The Fall. Although it doesn't look like a fall, does it? That looks like fully in control there. The Descent. Initiation. The Moonbeams, look. Shape-shifted. Reclaiming the Feminine. Sacred Marriage. We've got the Green Man and the Green Woman there. Beautiful card. And then our last card is the Return. Look at that garden. Now, if there ever was a card for pathworking, this would be it for me. I'd love to step into this and just walk this path into that cozy and inviting little home and this beautiful garden. Oh, what a stunning, stunning deck. Absolutely gorgeous. I'm so pleased that I went back and picked it up. Yeah, it's just beautiful. So the Rooted Woman Oracle, The book is by Sharon Blackie, but the cards, the images are by Hannah Willow. Thanks for watching, everybody. I hope you have a lovely weekend. And just remember, if you're out and about without an aim, you might find yourself somewhere that could cost you some money. So just be careful. Thanks, everyone. Until next time, go in peace. Namaste and blessed be.